The 1980s gave us unforgettable movies, but even more unforgettable women. They weren't just beautiful. They were fierce, funny, mysterious, and magnetic. These actresses ruled the screen, made our hearts race, and then, almost without warning, they disappeared. Where did they go? Why did they walk away? In this video, we're bringing them back. 20 stunning, powerful, and criminally forgotten stars of the 1980s. And if you think you remember them all, get ready to be surprised. Stay with us, because every single name on this list deserves to be seen again. Phoebe Cates, do you remember Phoebe Cates walking into the pool scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High? That unforgettable moment cemented her as an 80s icon. But her charm extended far beyond that single scene. Phoebe had a magnetic presence, girl-next-door warmth combined with undeniable star power. After Fast Times, she captured hearts again in Gremlins, playing Kate, the sensible girlfriend who grounded the chaos of the mischievous creatures. Her performance was understated, yet captivating, bringing real emotion amid the comedy. Phoebe had a gift, making every role feel real. Even in a decade overflowing with rising stars, she stood out. But fame wasn't everything. In the mid-90s, Phoebe stepped away from the limelight to focus on her family with actor Kevin Kline. Though she's no longer on screen, her legacy remains. To fans of 80s movies, Phoebe Cates will always be unforgettable. Mia Sara. What would Ferris Bueller's Day Off have been without Sloane Peterson? Mia Sara's portrayal of Ferris's girlfriend brought a calm, cool elegance to the film's chaotic energy. She was the dream girl of the 80s, beautiful, confident, and effortlessly charming. As Sloane, she wasn't just arm candy. She added grace, poise, and quiet strength to every scene, making her presence unforgettable. But that wasn't her only standout role. Mia also starred as Princess Lily in Legend opposite Tom Cruise, shifting from modern teen to fantasy royalty with ease. She had range. Whether it was a school-skipping sweetheart or a mythical princess, Mia brought every character to life with a quiet depth. By the 1990s, Mia stepped back from the Hollywood spotlight. But for those who grew up watching her, she remains an icon of cinematic elegance. Kelly LeBrock. In the 80s, Kelly LeBrock wasn't just an actress. She was a fantasy. As Lisa, the computer-generated dream woman in Weird Science, Kelly became a pop culture legend. With her sultry voice, flawless beauty, and playful humor, she brought Lisa to life in a way that made her unforgettable. But her magic didn't stop there. In The Woman in Red, she lit up the screen with romance, glamour, and charm. Kelly had a rare ability to be both untouchably beautiful and entirely relatable. Yet, as Hollywood began shifting away from the roles she excelled in, her career slowly faded. By the 90s, Kelly had stepped back from the spotlight. Still, fans haven't forgotten. To this day, Kelly LeBrock remains a glowing symbol of 80s allure, the perfect blend of fantasy and femininity. Rebecca De Mornay. Rebecca De Mornay made her mark in the 80s with a role that was bold, mysterious, and unforgettable. As Lana in Risky Business, opposite Tom Cruise, she played the confident love interest who turned a coming-of-age film into something deeper and more daring. But Rebecca wasn't just a pretty face. Her talent ran deep, and she proved it time and again. From dramas to thrillers, she brought intensity and depth to every role. One of her most memorable performances came in The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, where she portrayed a chilling nanny with terrifying precision. It showed just how far her range could go, from sensual to sinister. Though her fame peaked in the 80s and early 90s, Rebecca continued acting in Hollywood. Her legacy? A mix of beauty, power, and unforgettable screen presence. Deborah Foreman. Think back to Valley Girl, the ultimate teen romance of the 1980s. At the heart of it was Deborah Foreman playing Julie, sweet, stylish, and completely lovable. She wasn't just acting, she embodied the spirit of the era. Opposite a young Nicolas Cage, Deborah made the story of two opposites falling in love feel fresh, real, and timeless. But Deborah's talents didn't stop at romance. She brought her charm to cult favorites like April Fool's Day, blending suspense with wit, and Waxwork, where she played a curious heroine battling the supernatural. Whether she was facing love or monsters, Deborah made it all believable. Though her career didn't skyrocket into A-list fame, she left behind a rich collection of roles that perfectly captured the heart of the 80s. Today, Deborah Foreman remains a beloved figure for fans of 80s nostalgia, radiant, relatable, and unforgettable. Tawny Kitai in few images scream 1980s, louder than Tawny Kitai dancing on the hood of a Jaguar in Whitesnake's iconic music video, Here I Go Again. That moment turned her into a rock and roll fantasy, glamorous, wild, and unforgettable. But Tawny was more than a music video muse. She showed her comedic talent in Bachelor Party alongside Tom Hanks, playing the strong-willed bride-to-be who could hold her own in the raunchy chaos. Her beauty was electric, but it was her charisma that made her shine. Tawny had that rare spark, the kind that made the camera fall in love. As the 90s approached, personal struggles and a changing industry led her to step back from the limelight. Still, her presence in both music and film left a permanent stamp on 80s pop culture. For fans of that era, Tawny Kitai is the embodiment of rock glamour and rebellious fun. Kim Greist brought a quiet strength to her roles, a balance of vulnerability and resilience that made her unforgettable on screen. In Brazil, she played Jill Layton, a dreamer caught in a dystopian nightmare. Her performance anchored the film's surreal chaos with raw emotion and subtle humanity. But Kim didn't stop at sci-fi. In Manhunter, she portrayed the caring partner of a detective chasing a serial killer, delivering a deeply emotional performance in a supporting role. She also showed off her comedic chops in Throw Mama from the Train, proving her versatility and timing. Though her career gained momentum in the 80s, Kim stepped away from the Hollywood spotlight in the 90s. What she left behind, however, is a body of work that resonates with fans of offbeat and thought-provoking cinema. Kim Greist is remembered not just for her roles, but for the soul she gave to each one. Jami Gertz. Jami Gertz was everywhere in the 1980s, and every role she touched, she lit up. From the quirky friend in 16 Candles to the mysterious vampire in The Lost Boys, and the emotionally torn Blair in Less Than Zero, she showed her incredible range. In Less Than Zero, Jami delivered one of her most powerful performances, a young woman trapped in a world of addiction and privilege. She brought vulnerability, strength, and heart to a story about the darker side of youth. Whether it was comedy, drama, or horror, Jami made her characters feel real. She could be funny and sharp in one film, then haunting and intense in the next. Though she continued acting into the 90s and beyond, her 80s work remains her most iconic. Jami Gertz will always be remembered as a face of the decade, versatile, compelling, and impossible to forget. Catherine Mary Stewart. For fans of 80s sci-fi and cult classics, Catherine Mary Stewart is a true icon. In The Last Starfighter, she played Maggie, the supportive girlfriend of a small-town gamer turned intergalactic hero. She brought warmth and authenticity to a story filled with futuristic adventure, grounding the fantasy with real emotion. Then came Night of the Comet, a post-apocalyptic cult favorite. As Regina, Catherine delivered a perfect blend of humor, courage, and charm. She wasn't just surviving, she was thriving, and fans loved her for it. She even showed her lighter side in comedies like Weekend at Bernie's, proving she could handle laughs just as well as lasers. Though she never reached A-list stardom, her roles earned her a loyal following. Catherine Mary Stewart remains beloved for bringing strength, heart, and personality to every role. For 80s genre fans, she's unforgettable, a star in every sense. Lea Thompson. Lea Thompson will always be remembered as Lorraine McFly, Marty McFly as charming and complicated mom in Back to the Future. From teenage flirtation to suburban struggles, Leah portrayed every version of Lorraine with heart, humor, and depth. Her performance gave the film emotional weight and timeless appeal. But Back to the Future was just the beginning. She rocked out in Howard the Duck, bringing energy to a bizarre sci-fi adventure. And in Some Kind of Wonderful, she proved her strength in romantic drama, showing that she could do so much more than play the typical girl next door. Leah's versatility was her secret weapon, equally at home in comedy, drama, and everything in between. Though she continued acting into the 90s and beyond, her roles in the 80s defined her legacy. Leah Thompson didn't just star in iconic movies, she helped make them iconic.